Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to the hospital for my monthly appointment, and you guys are gonna hang out with me for it. I already made breakfast. I don't know if it looks appetizing or not. Scrambled eggs with red pepper and red onion with some Gouda cheese on top. I can't find my hot sauce, so I'm gonna do without it. I'm supposed to leave the house in about 35 minutes. I have a bunch of stuff to do, so you guys are going to hang out with me. As cringe as it is, I just feel like chronic illness is something that's overlooked easily, especially in the US. A lot of people, they have the attitude with their health that it won't happen to me until it happens to them. I think everyone, to a certain degree, if you didn't grow up with a disability or a chronic illness, or at least went undiagnosed, you can't necessarily say that like you cared because you just didn't know. You can't care if you don't know. And so I just want to bring some awareness about what it's like having chronic illness, and yeah, talk about that. You guys can potentially see me interact with the receptionist that I wrote a complaint about because she is such a nasty, gnarly bitch. So that'll be fun. I'm gonna try and focus and eat so that way I can get stuff done, because I still have to pack my backpack with all my stuff. My appointments take about 3 hours, so I try and have like snacks prepared. Usually I bring like a lunch with me, but I don't have nothing that would like quantify as a lunch really, so that's why I'm eating like a bigger breakfast. Fit check. I am wearing like a little Nike like super thin hoodie. I'm wearing a black tank top, black Torrid leggings, black Adidas socks. It's supposed to be really hot today, like 73, and I don't want to wear like anything super warm, but it does get really cold in the hospital. Literally once I get home, I'm gonna change into like some shorts or something. I took my Tylenol. I don't take the Benadryl before I have my infliximab. I just like, it makes me too drowsy and tired, and I don't really need it because I don't have an allergic reaction to it. But right now we're waiting for the IV team. Usually they just kind of poke me in the hand, but they offered the IV team today, which is really cool, and I'll see if I can record it because they come in with like an ultrasound machine and you can see all the veins in your arm, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, then I don't have to worry about blowing the veins in my hand, which is pretty cool. We are all good to go now. So I didn't get a recording of the ultrasound, you know, on my arm where they were looking at the veins, which it looks really cool, and I promise I'll do next time, because I was so entrapped in the conversation that I had with, I shouldn't even say entrapped, I should say enamored, by my conversation that I had with the IV team lady. She's like in her 50s, and she saw my little, I'll take it off. She saw my little My Melody clip that was on my backpack, and she was like, oh my gosh, My Melody is my favorite. And so we talked about like Hello Kitty and stationery and things like that. And then we talked about nails because I got my Karopi nails a while ago. I'll put a picture of that like boom here. So we were talking about that, and it's just so cute because, you know, like a 50-year-old woman being able to still have a piece of her girlhood and like her childhood in her, I just think it's so adorable, because Hello Kitty has been around since like the 70s. It's been around for a long time. Miffy, Moomin, that's been around since like the 40s and 50s. It's been around for a long time, and I just think that it's adorable when, as you guys can see in like my interior decorating, I love when there's still a sense of whimsy in people's lives. And yeah, I obviously like that reflected in what I wear and what I carry with me. So yeah, that was really sweet and I had so much fun talking to her. I was keying it up with my nurse too. She was really nice. I'll kind of bring you over here. I'm not taking you off the stand. So as you guys can see, this is like, it pumps. That's what the little sound, if you can hear it, the like, that's the pumping that it's actively pumping my medication into my veins. This is like how much at a time. It goes in like 15-minute increments. For the first, I think it would be 2 hours. And then the third hour, it goes every 30 minutes. It's at 1 milliliter right now of the pumping. So it'll start, let me grab my thing. It'll go from 5, 10, 20, 40, so on and so forth, until this entire bad boy is gone. Since hanging out at a hospital is normally pretty boring because, you know, there's nothing to do, I am going to give you my weekly report. Report is an acronym. The R stands for reading, E stands for eating, P stands for playing, O is obsessing, the other R is recommending, and then last is T for treating. So we're just gonna dive right into the first R with reading, and I'm gonna talk about Room. It was published quite a while ago. They made it into a movie, I think Netflix did. It's pretty depressing, so I'll try and keep it quick. The book is only 300 pages, but honestly, you could read it in a day because it's written from a child's perspective, so it's very easily digestible. A young woman is kidnapped and held prisoner by her kidnapper for a number of years. Basically, the kidnapper gets her pregnant. She raises this child on her own in the room that she's being held in, which is like a 12 by 10 room, hence the name of the book. And like the psychology aspect of it is really fascinating because, you know, as a parent, I'm not a parent, but most parents, you have to lie to your kids a little bit to make things easier. You know, lying about Santa or the Easter Bunny, but also like my parents lying about how the cops will arrest us if the lights in the car are on while we're driving. It's completely different when you have to lie about your entire existence with your kid. Like telling your kid that the people in commercials that are cooking or driving cars, none of that is real, just like Dora the Explorer isn't real. And Spanish isn't a real language. He thinks it's just a gibberish made up language, because if you have to have that conversation of other people are real and exist in the world, or we speak English and those people, they speak Spanish and they come from this place. It just opens the entire can of worms, the questions that you cannot bear to answer of, can we go there? Why can't we leave? Why don't other people come in? It was just like obviously a sad book to a certain degree. Spoiler alert, even though the book and the movie came out years ago at this point, there is somewhat of a happy ending because they escape. It was really incredible, very fascinating. I really recommend it. E for eating. I've been eating a lot of smoothie bowls lately. I don't know, I've just been really tired of drinking my smoothies and like cleaning the little cup. I don't know why it's easier for me if I do it in a bowl, but the psychology of it works. The P in report stands for playing, and I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. I know that a lot of you are excited and almost a little disappointed that we're getting another update for Stardew Valley, but still have not seen the release for Haunted Chocolatier. But Concerned Ape is working very hard to get this done, so let's give the man some credit. If you haven't played it, Stardew Valley is a farming simulator where you are someone that moves from the big city and you are taking over your grandfather's farm. Obviously there's a farming aspect, but there is a foraging aspect. There is a supernatural fun little element, especially in the mines. And there's also like a bunch of fun festivals that you get to participate in. And a big part of the game is that you can befriend a lot of the villagers, but you can also romance them. I'm going to be vulnerable right now, and I'm going to tell you guys the first person that I've romanced in the game, and you cannot judge me, you can't laugh. I may have picked Shane. And if you also pick Shane, girl, you know you can't fix him. Fix yourself. Fix yourself first. I used to work with a straight dude who actually played gay and picked Shane as his first romance character. It spoke a lot about who he was as a person as I got to know him more. Shane is this alcoholic, messy, kind of douchebag. He's really mean to you when you first try and talk to him, but as time goes on, you kind of melt through that like harsh exterior and get him a lot nicer. But still, I will say that I've grown. My true love is Maru. I think she is so adorable. I love cute little nerdy people. My end game is like 7 or 8 years, and I had been married to her for like 4, and I just got bored. I wanted to, you know, play the field a little bit. I wasn't appreciating her. I didn't cherish her like you should. So I divorced her. I left her high and dry, you guys. It was really messed up and really sad. So I married Abigail right after, my cute little emo hottie baddie. But I just felt like we were going through the motions. Now we're just together for the kids. So I don't know what that really says about us. And honestly, I don't feel like I'm so close to perfection that I don't feel like divorcing Abigail. I don't feel like losing those 13 hearts with her to start at 0, to have to get her back up to 10 because I'm not going to romance her again. I want my wife Maru back. But yeah, other than obviously like the romancing aspect, it's really fun to get your little animals and see like all the ducks hop in the water and see all the cute little piggies and the cows. Yeah, I just have a lot of fun with it. O in report is for obsessing, and lately I've been really obsessed with Bad Girls Club. Prime has been streaming like constantly Bad Girls Club through all the seasons. They also include like All Stars Battle. I don't think they include Love Games or any of the other spin-offs. But Bad Girls Club is a reality TV show in which 7 girls live in a house together and they just get absolutely wasted, fight all the time, and argue. In one of my favorite seasons, season 10, 2 girls fight over a Hot Pocket. Being someone who was raised conflict avoidant and in a very passive aggressive household, it was so satisfying and life-changing to see these women just like absolutely berate each other. It was cathartic. It was healing me in some type of really fucked up way. Obviously they've changed into baddies now, but I haven't watched baddies, and that's not to like shade. Usually get all my streaming services from everyone else, and nobody has Zeus right now, so sorry. The second R in reporting is for recommending, and I recommend that everyone listen to albums rather than playlists. Obviously, a playlist sets a vibe. It sets a certain tone, and I absolutely love playlists. But there's a certain listening experience that you have when you're listening to albums. You're able to really understand an artist or a band much better. You get a clearer understanding of what the mentality was in recording this album. You also pick up on themes and motifs throughout the album a lot more because you're able to listen to it in its entirety. So what I recommend is listening to the album like 1 or 2 times all the way through without shuffling and then shuffling. Personally, I've been listening to a lot more German music. I've been listening to the Humanoid album by Tokyo Hotel as well as the Mutter album by Rammstein. But I've also been listening to Golden Hour and Deeper Well, both by Casey Musgraves. My first day of solo travel, Tyler the Creator, he dropped Don't Tap the Glass, and I was banging that. Listen to albums. You appreciate the artist's work so much more if you listen to a complete album in its entirety, as it's intended. And the last letter in the report would be T for retreating. I've been eating these, it's basically like Rice Krispie treats, but with cornflakes, like cornflake marshmallow treats, I guess is what people call them. I've been doing it since I was a kid, but I haven't made it in like ages because I know that I would eat the entire pan if I did. And trust, the first one that I did, I ate the entire pan and I was so mad at myself. I literally immediately after I was like, yo, we gotta divvy this up and give it away to people right away because otherwise I will eat this pan. The crispy crunchiness along with the softness of the marshmallow, And then also just another thing on my mind, it is currently eclipse season. I am currently smack dab in the middle of eclipse season and I am feeling it. It's been a really fascinating time for me, at least. The houses in astrology that are most affecting for me are my 10th house, which is career, reputation, legacy, and then my 5th house, creativity, romance, love, and childhood. I've just been feeling very conflicted. I have a lot going on. Like, again, I'm with my 10th house, I'm currently unemployed and trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life, because obviously like 9 to 5 kind of stuff isn't cutting it and I'm just like not happy in it, and also physically it's really hard for me to keep up with. And in my 5th house, exploring my creative pursuits like this YouTube channel, I've been crocheting a lot, I've been junk journaling a whole bunch, and just kind of like playing around with stuff like that so that way I can figure out who and what I am and what I want to do with my life, you know? So yeah, it's been really hard. The astrologer said that what you dealt with back in March 2025 is what's going to be coming up in themes for you right now. Back in March, I talked to my no contact mother, who at that point I haven't talked to in 8 months. And I haven't spoken with her since, and just I've been missing her a lot lately, coming back from Europe and, you know, wanting to tell someone that you care about what's going on in your life. But I ultimately know that she can't be there for me in the way that I need her. She's not even there for herself. So I'm not going to speak on her struggles or herself, but she is mentally unwell, and I asked her to change some things and she either can't or won't, so I just need to step away. And, you know, because I'm not in contact with her right now, I didn't tell her that I was going on my sabbatical, and my grandparents told her when I was in Iceland, and when I was in Iceland, she got in an argument with my cousin about me. She basically said, like, stop talking about me to my daughter. I never do that with your kids, blah, blah, blah. And genuinely, my cousin and I, we haven't been that close. Like, I left Green Bay about 3 years ago, and we've maybe spoken like 2 or 3 times, and not very extensively. It's just kind of like, hi, how's it going, bye. Because, you know, life comes up and our family isn't close. But the thing is about this fight is that I know that the fight wasn't even to argue with my cousin. The point of that argument was that it would somehow get back to me, and I was supposed to reach out to my mom and tell her to stop arguing with people or just being like, hey, what's going on? She was hoping that I would reach out, and I'm assuming that she's upset that I did not. You know, a rational mom, and if she was hurt because her child didn't tell her that she was leaving the country, she would try and figure out a way to talk. Like, I currently have her blocked on social media, and I recently changed my number, not because of her. I was just getting like a million spam calls a day. But she would ask like family members to get my email or do something so that way she could like actually talk to me, instead of this like weird toxic triangulation BS, like psychosocial weirdness. And, you know, with this eclipse affecting my 10th and 5th house, I've been noticing a lot of themes around unworthiness. You know, not feeling worthy for any jobs because I've applied to well over 40 at this point and got a single interview. I have like feelings of unworthiness with like my creativity, like my YouTube is garbage or whatever, or the things that I create aren't good enough. And it's hard putting yourself out there creatively, because it's like, what are people gonna think of my work? What if it's dog shit, you know what I mean? But I also dealt with this sense of unworthiness when I was a kid, because I was told that I should choose more rational careers instead of pursuing music or writing. I don't know. Compound all this emotional craziness with the current state of the world, you know, Charlie Kirk being shot, Russia trying to start World War III in Europe right now. I'm feeling a little on edge, so I'm hoping it'll calm down soon. As you guys can see, this thing is basically empty, so we are almost done. So I have a lot to start packing up. Well, not really, but it's a lot to assemble. So I'm gonna pack up all my stuff and get this over with.